Hello everyone, thank you for your feedback. I will try and make more of video blogs moving forward. And for those with accessibility concerns, I'll try and capture that in the caption section below, and hopefully this should be good for everybody. So let's talk about yoga. Are yoga just asanas and pranayama or breath control? Not really. There are 6 other principles that form a total of 8 principles of yoga as listed in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali by Lord Patanjali. Lord Patanjali is the guru of yoga. So let's look quickly at each of these and then we'll talk about them in detail in the subsequent videos. The first one is yama. Yama refers to guidelines or principles on how our interactions should be with others. So there's the self and then there's everything else. So yama refers to the principles to interact with everything else. The second one is niyama. Niyama talks about how one must conduct oneself. So it brings in self-discipline. The third one is then asana. Asana literally translates into a seated posture. So it refers to, in this context, any posture that one can be comfortable in for a prolonged period of time. The next one is pranayama or breath control. Here again, it teaches us how to control our breath such that the self is functioning to the optimal. The next is pratyahara. So once the breath control is in place, pratyahara refers to withdrawal from the senses. So any experience of ours is flavored with our sensory organs. So pratyahara talks about how do we disengage from that, from all of the senses. Which brings us to the next one called dharana or concentration. Now this one is concentration for a given period of time. One can begin by concentrating on one object at a time and then move to nothing at all. Which takes us to the next state, which is dhyana. Dhyana is the practice of continuous concentration. So once dharana is in place, dhyana becomes easier because it's a prolonged dharana. The final one is a state that is attained as a consequence of the previous 7. So the final one refers to samadhi or an enlightened, undistinguished state. Together, 8 of these form the 8 principles of yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, and it is believed that these bring the state of yoga to the self. Yoga literally translates into union, and it's believed that a union is established between the self, soul or Atman, to the super soul or the supreme Brahman. So all 8 of these are necessary in order to attain a state of yoga.